Welcome back, guys, on my YouTube channel. I know that you're questioning why I'm in company of two scooters, but there's a bit I need to tell you because this is not your usual scooter. We are here with the Honda X-ADV. It's a scooter considered almost like an adventure bike, or at least it fits in the adventure segment despite being a scooter. This scooter was introduced in 2017 and it had an incredible success over anyone had expected, because over 76,000 of these scooters were sold since 2017. Now we are here for the new generation, but also we are here with the new generation of the Forza 750. Why is this interesting? Why do I have these two scooters here despite being so different? Because the reality is these two scooters have the same exact engine, have the same exact header pipe, different exhaust, and the same DCT automatic transition system. Clearly, I won't go into much detail on the Forza 750 because I believe this is for more of a urban target. What I mean is this is a very comfortable scooter for who rides a lot in the city and maybe does highway, because it has really good wind protection, extremely comfortable, but you can't really do off-road with this. Instead, the X-ADV is built to go also on gravel. And that's the most interesting thing, because you don't find scooters of this type. Honda really launched in 2017 something that had never existed on the market. And with this new generation, the design of the scooter has changed. And this is one of the new colors, which gives a really cyberpunk feel. One of the things I appreciate most is how the Honda engineers developed this design, making it look very sporty and aggressive, but covering every component of the engine. For example, one part that I really like, and you know I'm a motorbike designer, is the rear of both scooters, of both the Forza and the X-ADV. I think it really looks sharp on the end, giving it a racing feel. But now let's get into our test and what are the feelings of this bike. First of all, they both have the DCT system. This is the Honda automatic transition system that also gives you the possibility of having a sequential manual gearing shifter on the left hand side of the handlebar. One interesting fact is that over 230,000 bikes have this system, with it just showing how reliable it is, because it's not only mounted on these scooters, but for example the Africa Twin and other bike models. So really a deeply tested system, which now I'll make you rage down in the comments, I'm actually enjoying and liking for this kind of bike. The nicest thing of the automatic shifter is that you really don't have any sensation of the bike shifting up and shifting down. It's just so precise, you don't feel it, you don't hear it. That's also why I ended up keeping the automatic and not using anymore the sequential, because it does such a great job, especially changing the maps. Here we have 6 different riding modes. We have from the standard mode, the sport mode, the gravel mode, and then also the rain mode, plus 2 user customizable maps where you can fiddle around with the ABS, with the traction, with the power. Really interesting. And I also tried the user customizable maps today. One of the biggest features for me testing this scooter is the fact that between the maps there is really a lot of difference. Even an amateur like me, I'm not a road rider, but today on the road, going from the standard to the sport, I could feel a huge difference, with the sport being much more reactive in the acceleration and also in the shifting. Because the interesting thing is that when I would get to turns, it would immediately shift down before me entering the turn in order to give me the maximum grip and the maximum torque in order to go out fast from the turns. On the other hand, the standard mode is more relaxed. You feel less the torque at the low RPM, and this makes the riding more comfortable and generally just more relaxing, where you're like enjoying the countryside. Probably the ideal mode when you're loading a hot girl on the back. Instead, the sport mode if you want to have fun and really push. But let's get on to the off-road. I didn't expect this would have been a fun vehicle to ride off-road, but thanks to the rear foot pegs, it has like motocross foot pegs that just open out on the far back. This lets you stand up and have more control, because moving your legs back, you can really get your legs tight to the frame and have a good control. Also, I found that the position standing up was almost similar to an off-road bike. The only really downside I found off-road, personally, being an experienced off-road rider, is the fact I couldn't deactivate completely the ABS. This meant there was no way I could lock my rear wheel. Weirdly enough, I could deactivate completely the traction, which I did, so I was able to drift out of turns, but I wasn't able to completely lock my wheels, making it a bit tricky in certain situations. But we need to contextualize everything, and this is a scooter that can go on gravel roads. It's not an off-road bike. I was trying to treat it like an off-road bike, so keep this in mind, because most riders won't try to rip it like I tried to do today. In the gravel, I also tried the automatic shifting and the sequential shifting. On the off-road, I think it depends a lot on the situation. Sometimes you'll want to use the sequential, other times you're just fine with the automatic, because it does really a good job at finding where to shift, especially if then you customize your map like I did, and set it to have the maximum power, be the most reactive, together with a good suspension compartment and really good brakes. If the ABS on the gravel is a bit annoying, instead on the road, I must say it's rare to find ABS systems that are not invasive, and this was totally non-invasive, meaning that when I was on the road and I was going into a hard brake, it wouldn't do like on other bikes where it really makes my brake space much longer. It would do just an incredible job, not letting me block the wheel, but keeping me there almost to block the wheel. That means that I was always able to stop the bike in a short time and enter all the turns. Another small detail, minor detail, but that I really like, is the position of the exhaust. With the exhaust having this angle pointing up, it almost looks like a rally bike exhaust. The exhaust pipe differs from the Forza 750, and speaking of the ECU maps, even though they have the same engine and the same header pipe, the Forza has the maps customized for this type of client, this type of rider, meaning it's much smoother. Even in the sport mode, is not as aggressive as the X-ADV. Today I also had the chance to use the scooters with the rear luggage on the X-ADV and with the pannier packs on the Forza. In both situations, it really did not annoy me, and I found them to be so useful to carry around my backpack. Instead of having it on me, I just put it in the bags, and riding, I really wouldn't feel any difference. Seating wise, they're both very comfortable. The X-ADV has a larger handlebar. This makes it more stable, and that's also why it's enjoyable to ride off-road when you're standing up. The Forza 750 has a smaller handlebar because it's thought for a urban use, so going through the traffic and hitting highways. Anyway, this is all for this unusual but interesting test. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'm really curious who of you has already tried one of the X-ADV versions. I personally enjoyed it, and of all scooters on the market, I think this would be one of my first choices, because I love the design, very slick and aggressive. I love the sporty reaction of the engine, and the fact that I can ride it standing up, having the off-road foot pegs. Well, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!